Hello, universe. It is your girl, Baby Hairs. Tricks. I'm playing. It's your girl, Brandy619. What's up, y'all? Um, that was just a little inside joke. Shout out to my girl, Lisa Lolo, for that. She called me Baby Hairs and when we was going back and forth. And I still think it's funny today. Um, and now that's my kids. Even my kids, they be like talking to each other, and they be like, "Get out my room, baby hairs." They be like, "Shut up, you shut up, baby hairs." So, yeah. Anyway, um, on another note, I definitely wanted to have some dialogue with you guys. Now, I want to say that I really don't want to make I really don't want this channel to be like a doomsday channel or in anyone's vibrations or anything like that. But sometimes, there are things going on in the world around us that, we just are not talking about, or we are talking about. Or just need to be talked about. You know what I mean? And this is one of those things that I definitely want to hit on because I am a pretty avid traveler. And the only thing is, I've yet to travel abroad. A while back, I was a travel agent. And I think right now, the way that you can work, through kind of like a mother company, you know what I'm saying, and be a travel agent, and you kind of pay monthly, basically kind of like a subscription, but you still have to follow all the rules. You can't be messing around. Things are very, very strict. The only thing missing is the brick and mortar, you know what I'm saying, but you're able to certain information of your mother company that allows you to be able to access discount rooms and rates, allows you to be able to come on fam trips, or which are like familiarity trips, where you go to a resort, you check it out, you see how it is, and you come back and you tell everybody. You get the inside scoop and you get the inside discounts that maybe you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. So I did do that for a while, actually, up until I was pregnant with my youngest, the little girl, and then it was just too much and too overwhelming. I really didn't have the time to sit and invest in, becoming expert in particular areas of travel. Like at that time I was considered a Disney expert, because I took all my courses and everything like that in order to become an expert in Disney specifically. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But what I do want to talk about, and before I go there, I also want to I want to touch on the little girl, Elizabeth. I can't think of what her last name is, but she came up missing out of Utah, and the family had been looking for her. They did end up arresting her uncle. I did see that Planet of the Fakes did post this today. However, he's kind of like a day late and a dollar short, because they did find the little girl's body, which is completely unfortunate. However, they had already arrested the uncle, and they did say that he had some wounds that were consistent with him probably being the perpetrator. They saw him walking that morning away from the home where the little girl had last been seen. They said that his pants was soaking with something, what I don't know. I believe they did get DNA evidence off of him. So the little girl was stabbed, and I guess he took her body and did something with it, but they did find the baby. She's 5 years old, so they're all babies to me, period. I wouldn't care if she was 13 or 16, you know what I'm saying? They're all babies to me, but they did find her. They do have the uncle in custody. And I believe right now, before he was being held on a probation violation, but now I do believe that they have charged him with her murder. So right now he told them where her body was, but they have not told what his motive was or why he did it. They did try to come and say, you know, he was homeless, didn't have anywhere to live, and he was suffering maybe from some mental abuse. And I just want to say this: we're not gonna play the mental abuse. That's not what that was. Okay. Either he was mad at someone for not letting him live with them. He was being vindictive, and that's really the bottom line. We're not gonna go with crazy, because if he was crazy, he would have just done something crazy outside of the family home. You know what I'm saying? So, this was something he chose to do to hurt someone. Whether it's his sister, his mom, his parents, someone close to him. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just say that like it is. We're not gonna play the mental disability. Is he fit to stand trial? All that guard. We're not gonna play. I believe he's 21 years old, and we're just not gonna play no games with this. Okay. Negative. Anyway, on to the next topic. So like I was telling you, I was a travel agent, and I'm an avid traveler. However, I've yet to go abroad. And this is one of the things that always kind of makes me nervous about going abroad, because recently we've been having an influx of deaths that have been occurring in the Dominican Republic. And let me tell you the reason why. And I am going to put down in the description bar the link to Your Black World, and I'm going to put them because they actually went ahead and listed in order, you know what I'm saying, some of the more recent ones. But it doesn't stop there. There are still some on there that were not on that list. And I'm thinking maybe because they didn't really fall in line with the heart attack narrative, or just dropping dead or becoming sick or something like that. Okay. So you guys can go over that link, but those of you guys that really you don't have to. I'm also going to drop another link in there from Inside Edition, because they also did cover this as well. And then I'm going to drop another link in there where there is a doctor at the end. She is talking and she is stating, hey, the only real way to find out what's actually happening with these people in these heart and lung cases, where they're just dropping dead and can't breathe, having an issue with the heart or something like that, is to do a post-mortem toxicology report. And that is exactly what I was thinking. There is another guy, I believe this is on Inside Edition, where he was stating, hey, it's pretty safe out here. Travelers just want to use some common sense. This ain't about common sense, okay? This is not about common sense. He's saying maybe, people who already have heart issues are dying because of some of the cleaning products that these people are using, and they are toxic, and they may not mesh well with whatever medication you're taking, or, just with your body if you already have problems, heart problems, okay? But I'm not going for that, and I have to ask myself, who does he actually work for? He probably works for a resort. He's probably the spokesman in Dominican Republic for the Americans to help get them there. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I do want to say that the Dominican Republic tourism is a major part of, how that country makes money. It's a beautiful place to go. It's a beautiful place to visit. The resorts are beautiful, and most or a lot of those resorts are all inclusive. Those are places that you can go, like a Caribbean isle, where they are all inclusive. Jamaica is not one of those, but Jamaica does actually have a resort now that is called Couples Resort, that caters specifically to couples, and they kind of have something very similar to all inclusive. So they really are your first all inclusive resort in Jamaica. But Dominican Republic is where it's at. It's pretty inexpensive. A lot of times you can go there, Punta Cana or something like that, and your kids can stay free. You know what I mean? As long as they're under a certain age, you can go there for a week or so for $1,000 or a little under $1,000, depending on where you book through. If you go to cheapcaribbean.com, you can definitely find some really good days with airfare and all that kind of stuff for a little bit of nothing. You know what I'm saying? All inclusive. Find what you're looking for. But a lot of those that are at the top of the list, as far as, you know, beautiful waters and pristine beaches and beautiful resorts and things like that, mostly come out of Dominican Republic and the Riviera Maya or things like that. And those are the all inclusive places. You want to get the most bang for your buck. You know what I mean? So I do want to start off. So, as Your Black World stated, one of them was Mr. Joseph Allen. He died on June 13th. He was staying at the Tierra Linda Resort in Sosa. He fell sick, and they found him dead the next day in his hotel room. Okay. I cannot say if they ruled his a heart attack or not. That's the one I should have looked up. I don't know why I didn't look his up. But either way, he felt sick. Okay. Now either he ate something or he drank something. Matter of fact, hold on. Okay, so as of June 18th, he died on June 13th. So as of June 18th, what they say is that he said that he started complaining that he was feeling hot when he was inside of the pool, and so he went to take a shower and he went to lay down, and the next day, and he was with a group of friends, and the next day, they went to his room and he was dead. They said that he had stayed at that particular resort before, so he was comfortable, you know, whatever the case may be, or whatever had him feeling sick. Now here I'm seeing where there's a group of people, 5 members of an Oklahoma high school group were staying at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, and they became sick after eating at a Japanese restaurant, and that also more than 50 Jimmy Buffett fans were sickened while on the annual trip in April, and at least one tested positive for salmonella. And that comes from CBS in the morning. But back to Joseph Allen. They say that they are still, right, well, as of the 18th, they're still trying to get his body back so that they can do American autopsy and that they can do a toxicology report. Now, I do want to say that in reading this, there's a man named Mark Hobart Jr., who says that his father also died from heart and respiratory problems last June in Punta Cana, and that he's wondering, you know, why all these seemingly healthy people are having these heart attacks just out of the blue. You know what I'm saying? And what stuck out to me is that he says, and I quote, "Had I known then what I know now, I would have fought tooth and nail to have his remains brought back here and have an American autopsy done." So that lets me know that when the father passed away out there, maybe it would have cost so much to ship his body back. He was just under the assumption that his dad had a heart attack, and I guess he just let them maybe cremate him or something out there. I don't know what they did with his body, but clearly it wasn't brought back to him. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we also have Layla Cox. She died June 10th in the Dominican Republic. Let's see. Okay. So, it's ridiculous. So, she died in her hotel room. Okay. And she died on June 10th, like I said, at the Excellence Resort in Punta Cana. Okay. The tourism minister Francisco Javier Garcia said earlier this month these are isolated incidents and the Dominican Republic is a safe destination. Well, this is the thing. If this were so, I would not be reading down a list of people who are dying in Punta Cana. I mean, not Punta Cana, but in the Dominican Republic. You understand what I'm saying? If it were so, I wouldn't be reading down the list. Okay? And maybe we need to go a little further and check into seeing how many other Americans are dying in these other, because I know a lot of people all the time go to the Caribbean West, which is like your Mexico area, the west side, that's our Caribbean. And then Caribbean East, are places like Jamaica and Ocho Rios and things like that. So, but I'm not hearing the influx of things like this happening coming from over there in those other places, just over here in the Dominican Republic. So I have to ask myself, what is the problem? Because there is a problem. Okay. So with Layla Cox, she died in her hotel room. She felt unwell and was taken to a hospital. But I guess she went back to her hotel room, and that's where she died. And they said that the cause of her death also was a heart attack. And they're citing a forensic report. Now, I don't know who did this report. Dominican Republic, they're constantly apologizing, but they're not really going into doing like real full investigations. And there are two people high up that are requesting FBI do investigation into this, and as they should. As they should. If us Americans are traveling abroad and we're going somewhere and they're enticing us with low rates and all you can eat and all this weird stuff and come down and do the dance, during the night, and we give you free non what do they call it? You get like water sports, but they're not like, you don't get to go on jet skis or nothing like that. But they give you all the little tubes and inner tubes and rafts and, snorkels and all that kind of stuff. That come swim in my light blue water. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But they entice us and we come out there because we like, ooh, this is too good to be true. You know what I'm saying? And we goes right on out there. So her family, Cox's son, her son is saying that he does not believe that she just died of some natural causes. And, that he believes that if she had went anywhere else in the world besides the Dominican Republic, that she'd be alive right now, quote unquote. Okay. And that he just hopes for some answers. And as do I. I hope for some answers. Okay. For not just her, but all these that I'm going to name. So now we have Yvette Monique Sport. Now she stayed at the Principe Resort, and she died last 2018. And she had a drink from the mini bar and ends up having a heart attack. Okay. Then we have Miranda Schwab Werner. She stayed at the Grand Bahia Principe Resort. Okay, and collapsed after having a drink. Then we have Edward Nathan Holmes and Cynthia Ann Day, and they both died of respiratory failure and pulmonary edema, which is water in the lungs, okay? But they're not the only one. And mind you, all three, Miranda, Edward, and Cynthia, they all died at the same resort within 5 days of each other. That's a problem. Okay. You also have Robert Bell. I think it's Wallace. Let me see. My handwriting sucks today. Robert Bell Wallace.
Here is some information about Robert.
Yep, Wallace. Okay, so yes, Robert Bell Wallace, he died in April. He also had a drink from the mini bar, and he was at the Hard Rock Hotel, which was the same Hard Rock Hotel that I was telling you about, the group of the people from the high school that all got sick at the Japanese restaurant, okay? The Hard Rock Hotel in Punta Cana, and um they say that the official reason for his death had not been disclosed by the family at that time. But let's see if I can get, let's see if maybe eventually. Now he was there to attend his stepson's wedding. So they said that he had a scotch from the mini bar, and he started to feel very sick, and he had blood in his urine and stool right after. He died 3 days later. Um Now Arnold, Chloe Arnold, that's his niece. She says that the authorities have not given them a cause of death. And she says that we have so many questions. We don't want this to happen to anyone else. And so the reason why there's no official, now the last report, well, on the thing that this said, that the family did not offer a explanation for his death. However, Chloe, his niece, is saying the authorities never gave them an official reason for his death, and that they have so many answers, and that they need to make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. Everybody having drinks at the mini bar, everybody drinking out the glasses, everybody drinking out the, you know what I'm saying? What is the problem? Okay. Then you have Jerry Curran. He died in January, okay, at Dreams Hotel and Resort. Now they're another one. I do believe that Dreams are all inclusive as well. They have Dreams in so many of these different and they're like a chain. Okay, so it's kind of like almost if you go to One Dreams, you've been to them all. Basically, you know. But he had dinner and drinks, and then he began to vomit, and he was getting sick, and then they rushed him to have an emergency surgery where he died. Okay. Jerry Curran. Now, even though he was 78 years old, but the family says that they thought something was not right. This is quote unquote, my father was a healthy 78-year-old. He took care of himself, and I just didn't think anything like this was possible. But then I started to hear other people's stories. That's his daughter Kelly Brown, okay? And she told that to WKYC, okay? And then she said that the family was told, your father needs surgery and he's going to die, and they need $50,000, and you need to send it with a copy of your passport. What? Now, clearly that's fishy, okay? Clearly. And then she said the time of death that they listed on his death certificate was 11 hours after she received a call saying that he had died. And that the cause of death was pulmonary edema. Again, she said in the raised eyebrows because it has been listed as a cause of death in other cases in the Dominican Republic. Okay, and all of these spokespeople keep saying that there is no evidence. We have no evidence that this unfortunate incident was a result of anything other than natural causes. And they keep saying this. That this is what they keep saying. Okay, so why is it that it's taking so long for the FBI to do this investigation? How many more Americans have to die? You know what I'm saying? Or how come you're not shutting down that border? You're so worried about the border over here in Mexico. Why don't you worry about shutting down their border? Okay? If you're really talking about Americans that's dying related to whether it is the upkeep of their whether it's upkeep, whether it's somebody is emptying these bottles and refilling them with poison, if it is the cleaning products that are not healthy for Americans and they don't match our body, maybe we need a shot or something to help us be able to get through whatever we need to get through. But come on, America, you need to shut it down. No, nobody's buying no more tickets to Dominican Republic. Nobody. Shut it down. You want to shut down trade with China? Shut down tourism with Dominican Republic. Sure. Cancel all the flights. Sure. Now, I know my video is running long, but I'm sorry. I didn't kill all these people. They didn't come to my house and fall out. You understand what I'm saying? So I just got to read it down. So then you got David Harrison, again, at the Hard Rock Cafe. He also dies of pulmonary edema. And heart attack. So they kind of slash it. And the reason why that doctor was saying, because they have to put that on the death certificate if they don't really know exactly what it is that caused it. If they know that it has something to do, if this area has something to do with the reason why they died. Now, they won't really officially know until they get the postmortem toxicology reports. And so that's the reason she said coroners have to put that, if the heart stopped, or, if, there was something, going on in this area. That is just kind of like a general thing that they put on death certificates. And you won't find out until they do the blood tests and run the proper tests. And the best way to do that is to have an independent American autopsy done, period. Okay? Bring your loved ones' bodies home, have them shipped over here, and do the proper investigation. Okay, because someone has to be held liable. Dominican Republic and the people that are, standing up for them and their spokesmen cannot just keep saying that there is no evidence. There is no evidence. There is no evidence. Well, make some. Okay, because we need more answers than everybody can't be dying of the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? So then you have John Cochran. He died of a heart attack. Now, his sister is on Shark Tank, and she did say that he had prior heart conditions. But I just, again, think it's funny, whether he had prior heart conditions or not, that here again, we have another one saying for a heart attack. Again, so Cochran, I don't give a damn if he had prior heart problems. You need to get a postmortem autopsy done and toxicology report done as well. Don't go for that. No, I wouldn't if I were you. Okay? So anyway, there's so many people you can look up, and there is a website, I believe it's called iwaspoisoned.com. Inside Edition is where the man is saying, hey, it's probably the cleaning products, and you guys just need to use some common sense. This ain't about common sense, brother. The only thing common about this right here that my sense is telling me is that there's a problem going on in Dominican Republic, and that should be the common sense that you should be utilizing, sir. Okay? Now, if you go into that link, you'll see him say that he's trying to clean it up and make it all good, but this is where I wonder who you work for. I see you're American, but who do you actually work for? Okay? So, now, the other one that I didn't speak on was Orlando Moore and Portia Ravenel. Now, they were the ones who were in the car accident, and their bodies were found days apart, and the car was found. They had to go down into the water to pull the car up, okay? Now, I could say, they were leaving in the middle of the night to go catch their flight. Maybe it was rocky road, and maybe they did have some kind of accident, or maybe there was just something else that was going on that we don't know of. They did show, the couple that they met out there. We don't know if they were robbed, if they were, whatever. And this is something that I do want to tell you guys. Oh, speaking of that, let's get to Tammy Lawrence Daly, okay? Because in January, if I'm not mistaken, she was attacked. Now, she was attacked by somebody who was dressed in a resort uniform. Okay, she was hit from behind. She said she was walking through the corridor, maybe looking for something to eat or something. Figured that she would go and walk by the beach and just check out the resort as she walked to go find her maybe something to eat that night. And that she began to hear footsteps behind her. Then they knocked her out. They did all kind of terrible things to her, and then dumped her like in some receptacle bin or some hole or something inside, like a receptacle where they throw trash or something, and she was left there to die. Her husband had been looking for her for days when they finally found her, and the resort offered no consolation and said again that they were not responsible, and that there's no evidence that anybody did anything that worked there at that place. And she's saying the dude had on your outfit, your costume, your uniform. So are there no cameras? You're all inclusive, all these different places, all inclusive this, all inclusive that, and there's no cameras anywhere? There's nothing anywhere? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem. Let me see what resort she was at. Y'all bear with me, y'all. I am definitely almost through. I believe she was my last one. Tammy Lawrence Daly. Now, she says that she demanded $2.2 million before she was going to go public. Let me see if they gave it to her. Ooh, y'all. Let me show y'all this. Ooh, this is on the New York Post. Boy, let me show y'all this. Oh, damn, Gina. Can y'all see this lady's face? Okay. Oh my God. Well, it says Dominican Republic Resort claims that Tammy Lawrence Daly demanded $2.2 million before going public. As would I'd be asking for a whole lot damn more than that, if you ask me. And she said that she shared this, 4 months after receiving no positive response. That she was attacked from behind. She was dragged down concrete stairs and thrown into a crawl space filled with wastewater. That she was beaten with a club and strangled by a man wearing a majestic, elegant uniform. And that there was damage to her down there is the word she used. So she alludes that there was some possible sexual assaulting going on. And I remember hearing her talk about it because she said that there was some things going on and she's not going to mention it because it's very gory. So I am going to say that they more than likely sexually assaulted her. Okay, so actually, now I don't know why I felt like I heard her say days, because I am kind of go from when I heard her talking, but that she was intercepted by this person at around 11 o'clock that night, and her husband reported her disappearance at 2:30 in the morning. Um, and then that she was found at 6:40 in the morning at a restricted area in the hotel. She showed bruises on her face and had a broken fingernail without presenting any other signs of violence on her body, and still being in possession of her purse, cell phone, and other belongings. Well, that was a little weird. But either way, I would say get y'all some damn security cameras somewhere, because now that's a little weird. I don't know how you get beat up and knocked all down and thrown into the restricted area and got all this damage on the lower regions and just to your face, and no other issues on your body. You still have to purchase your cell phone and all of that. So I don't know. I don't know about that, but even still, these other people died. They didn't make it out. So I don't know if we need to write our local congressman. I don't know who the heck we need to write, but something definitely needs to be done. I think they need to go on ahead and shut it down and say, no, we're not sending no more Americans to your beautiful island until we figure out what the cause of death is. If it's cleaning supplies, they need to be banned, or Americans need to be aware, you know what I'm saying, of what cleaning supplies, and that they clean everything with it, and that it could possibly kill you. If it is, until we get those toxicology reports, we're not really going to know, you know what I mean? And I just hope that all the people whose loved ones have died over there, you bring their body back. Bring their body here to get the information that you need. Okay? And since Joseph Allen, his family's still trying to get his body back, so you might have to go over there and fly over there and get it yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but this needs some looking into. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I do not think that I think I'll be staying right here, boots on the ground, for a while, because I just don't have time. I got to be living my best life. I cannot just be out there. You know what I'm saying? And it can happen anywhere. Don't get it twisted. It can happen anywhere, but it is just crazy that people go over there, let their guard down. They want to go have a good time. They want to drink. They want to chill. They're at a resort, so they feel, you know what I'm saying, like they can, they feel like they can just chill, like they can just relax. You know what I'm saying? No problem. But, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case, I would say, be careful, because you don't know if people at the resort are in on something. I would also like to know if these people are being robbed, if all their belongings are being returned to them, if anything of value is missing from off their bodies, if, you know what I'm saying, if there's been any charges on their credit cards, or, you know what I'm saying, really go in depth, to try to figure it out, because I would wonder, maybe it's just some crazy serial killer out there. I don't know. We got to figure it out, y'all. So let me know what y'all think in the description bar. I hate that the video was so long, but, got to talk about it. All right, I'm gone.